guys, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to the Cinematic Reviewer. Today I'm discussing the worst of Grey's Anatomy. Now, I just did a video on the best of Grey's Anatomy. Now, in that video, I had more or less intended of just one video, and so I included a little bit of the worst of. Now, I was doing a rewatch, so pretty much I was more focusing on seasons 1 through 3, which is where I was at. And I sprinkled in a couple other characters that I recalled, but there were other things that I was like, oh yeah, remember that? I should definitely talk about that. So that's what I'm doing here. So it's primarily going to be the worst of Grey's Anatomy, but I'm also going to be pinpointing a couple other moments, whether it be season 2, season 6, season 8, like from season 1 through season 10, anything that I forgot about in my previous video, I will be mentioning here, whether it be a great moment or yikes, they definitely should have revised that instead. Now, some of the best moments, definitely the shooting episode. That was a really great episode. Now, that season in particular, it was not looking good. I was so into that one. The first time I watched it back in 2022, I was so into this show. And then that season came, and it was just going so slow, and characters, it was just, nothing was really working for the show. So I was like, I think I'm done. And so I was sharing it with a friend, and she's like, okay, at the very least, you have to get to the shooting episode. It's a great episode. And I was like, okay. No, she was 100% right. That was a great episode. It's just got so much to it. It's a very good episode. It was just the whole thing of like the stuff leading up to it and just everything else, like the meat of that season. Oof, boo. It was so bad. But they definitely did a good job in the finale, how they ended things. That was great. Like how Cristina was feeling when she was doing the surgery on Derek after he was shot. That was so good. Like, just so much about Cristina. She's so great. She's so amazing. Now, one thing I meant to mention in my previous video of best moments, definitely when Cristina is helping Burke with the tremor in his hand, like that whole setup and everything, the drama of it all, like, this is serious. This is something that really could happen in real life. The sort of thing of like, this is a real issue, not just relationship drama. Like, you just see that Meredith's still on about Derek and what's happening and what's going on. And even Cristina's like, there are things that are bigger than you. And just, it was just so good. And like everything happening with Bailey at the same time as she's just like, oh, are you doubting me because now I have a kid? Like, the whole thing there and the music that was playing. One thing I will say about this rewatch that I've been doing this year, I've been finding way more music that has really been hitting for me from certain parts in the show. So I've been really liking listening to music. But speaking of music, the first time I watched this episode, I 100% added it to my list, and it ended up being in my Spotify Wrapped for 2022. That is in season 5, episode 16, when Derek loses a patient and he's just going through it, and he's just going through a whole depressive episode. He's like not coming back to work, and that song, you know, that was the episode after, but that song, when he loses the patient, that song Twice, woo, so good. That is such a good song. But like that whole thing there, when they really do a standard issue, real interpersonal drama, like something rough that is happening to someone, like they hit so well. It's when you're dealing with relationships that I'm like, no thanks. I'm really not about it in terms of Grey's Anatomy. I'm a little like, can you move on? You guys were doing so good with friendships, real issues. Like, there's so much about the show that's so good, and other parts I'm like, oh, please stop. Now, somehow, I have no idea how I forgot about him. Maybe some part of me really was able to block him out, but the worst character on Grey's Anatomy, Owen Hunt. I don't know a single person who likes him. Everyone I know who has watched Grey's Anatomy, who has enjoyed Grey's Anatomy, hates Owen Hunt. And for very good reason. He is literally the worst. I really don't understand why they decided to make his character happen, have this guy be the actor for him. Just everything that he does, what he does to Cristina, what he does to so many other people. And one thing that was decent enough in terms of after he arrives in the show is Teddy. Teddy was a very good character. I did appreciate her. It was a little tough, obviously, you know, what Christina's going through. She's really trying to be a cardiothoracic surgeon, and Teddy's the one who can help her, and she's going through all this drama where she wants Owen, but Cristina already has Owen, and everything going on there. It's like, couldn't this just, why does it have to be so relationship-y? Like, some aspects of relationships in this show are fine with me. There are ones that I do enjoy, but a lot of them, it's like, really? But in general, I hate this guy so much. The fact he lasts a good chunk of the time, like he is not a character that just leaves. No, he sticks around. And the fact that he cheats on Cristina and he chokes out Cristina, that was the worst. Like, that was 100% she should have broke up with him. That should have been it. That should have been done. And then he leaves the show and, oh, yeah, this thing happened to me, whatever. No, of course they keep him around for no good reason. One thing I will say, too, in terms of the worst is I really don't like it later on in the show, because like I said, in terms of my rewatch, I'm on season 3. What I really don't appreciate, they show so many surgery scenes. Like, you see the stuff, you see the gore, you see the guts, blah. It's like, ah! Like, if you're a surgeon or medical person, medical student interested in medicine, maybe to you, no problem. Average viewer like me, that is, the fact that they just do too much, I think. I do not appreciate. One thing I will say though, I just tried to watch the Pitt, you know, the new HBO Max original with Noah Wyle, and I have watched ER as well, and I will say, in particular, the Pitt, compared to any other medical surgery, any sort of ER type stories I've seen, that was the worst. The kind of one where you 100% would never, ever want to be a doctor. And it's like, they literally say, medical professionals are like, it's the most accurate one. It's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I do have my complaints about Grey's Anatomy when they really got into showing everything, but you know what? I saw too much and I only watched like a couple episodes of The Pitt, and The Pitt, no, please avert the eyes, please stop, like that was too much. And like, at least with Grey's Anatomy, ER had some plot lines that were fine. I wasn't the biggest fan of ER, but I really like Grey's Anatomy, and there's just so much to it that's so much fun and great. And The Pitt, oh my gosh, dude, like, it's like, okay, thanks again for reminding me that 100%, like, while I can have my complaints about Grey's Anatomy, there's other stuff that's a million ways to Sunday worse. And yeah, like, I am totally fine with Grey's Anatomy. There's just some things that I'm less about. I'd say another aspect that was decent enough, I wouldn't say I cared too much about it, but like the whole thing where Derek and Meredith, they decide to adopt a baby, that was sweet enough. Like, there are definitely aspects that I really appreciate. I really didn't like the post-it note thing. Like, it was perfect time for them to get together and everything, and what happens? They don't go through with it, but then to adopt Zola, they're like, okay, we gotta do it. Okay, we'll go to the courthouse, we'll do it. It's like, I mean, at least they do it, but it's like, just why couldn't they have a nice little wedding? Especially when Izzie was planning it so well, so hard, whatever, and getting into Izzie. I don't know, like, There's some aspects of the cancer plotline that were decent enough. I'd say the weird stuff where Denny's back and she sees him and everything, those hallucinations, they got a little weird. They got a little too otherworldly. But for the most part, that was a decent connection there. And I would say I was not too big a fan of how characters left. The way they had primary characters leave, a lot of them really didn't work for me. I was not a fan. And in particular, like, Cristina had a good exit, but I missed her so much, and it was really cool to have Burke back for him to, you know, now she's working for him or with him, whatever. But like, she was the soul of the show, and I just couldn't, I tried, but I could not get into. After that, after season 10, it's a no-go for me, but I'd say there's decent, there's good stuff. There are good things in Grey's Anatomy, and a lot of stuff I really don't like, and that's very much in particular with Owen Hunt. Now, another character I could talk about is April Kepner. I just can't remember how I feel about her. Like, she definitely can be obnoxious, but I don't know. Like, is she horrible? I don't think so. She's not great, that's for sure. But she's fine enough, I guess. And then Avery, not too big fan, especially when it involves his mom and everything, and just everything with the plotline there. And then, of course, where April and him get together, it's like, okay, like, it was kind of whatever. Another aspect I really couldn't stand, and obviously this gets way closer to around where I stopped watching, but the guy, that collection of people, I'll put them on the screen because I can't remember their names, but everything that happens there where the guy feels threatened and he knows that he's not as good as this other surgeon, and he's the one who messes everything up. And so the chief lives, but then she dies, and he really doesn't get held accountable for what he did. Unforgivable. That was one of the worst things that happened around that point in the show. I really did not appreciate. So I guess you could kind of consider this like a part 2. Like, it's like, yeah, you know, some aspects I definitely do recommend you guys watch the video I did for best moments. I'm a little bit more, things are more present in the mind in terms of Grey's Anatomy, because now, as of the past week or so, I've watched so many other stuff, other TV shows, and it's kind of like, Grey's Anatomy, remember? And it's like, yeah, vaguely. But in general, I felt the ways, you know. Hope you guys have your own opinions if you'd like to share them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, comment below, and if you liked this video and would like to see more movie and TV show content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time. Bye!